Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. No, I'm not a father. I just, look like an old bearded man, but I'm not a dad. My father passed away over 10 years ago, so I kind of forgot it was Father's Day. It's just a regular Sunday for me. But I wanted to do some sort of a comic that would have something to do with fatherhood. And I know this is a little cheesy, but I figured Trigon is the father of Raven, and it's a good excuse to show some Teen Titans, and it's also a good excuse to show some wonderful George Perez artwork, Marv Wolfman writing. So this is Teen Titans number 6. This is just one of the best comic book runs of all time, and I thought I'd talk about that. As normal, I will filibuster for a couple of minutes before getting into the comic, give people a chance to wander in. So here we got Haldir, the moderator from Canada, the Canadian moderator, but we don't hold that against him. He's putting up my campaign for Heroic Tales #1, still available on Fund My Comic. I had a big bump in sales this week. It was really cool, and we're preparing to make a Kickstarter launch in the first weekend of July. And this is my Substack for my mailing list. Thank you for putting my links in there. We got Grey Wolf. How you doing, Grey Wolf? Happy Father's Day. We got Marcus Kelligrew. How you doing, man? I hope you got some sleep. I did a 4-hour live stream last night. It was spontaneous. I came up with this idea for It's Clobbering Time, and it would just be like an old school, like playground, kids talking about how their superhero or villain could beat your superhero or villain. And so we did the Flash versus the Hulk, and it turned out to be like 157 people watching, and we stayed for 4 hours, and then I set my alarm. So yeah, I'm like intravenously injecting coffee into my veins. It was a lot of fun. Matt Power came on, and Ramos Sicki came on, and then Kirby. So if you missed that, you could check it out. You could check it out. 4 hours. I don't blame you if you don't want to watch it. I don't like 4-hour live streams. I somehow woke up 5 minutes before alarm. I hope I didn't make you wake up early. I'd feel bad. Sunday, sleep in, Father's Day. Hola, David Alcia. How you doing, David? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, man. So 10 people already. Wow. Let's get the pet peeves out of the way. One of the things that drives me nuts about Father's Day is it's if you have pets, you're not a father. I have pets. I'm not a father. I got cats, but I'm not a father. My wife's church gave out Father's Day presents. They gave my wife a nice socks, really nice socks. She just graciously took them, and I felt bad. I'm not a dad. I took socks away from somebody, but I hate all the single moms. I'm a father too. No, you're not. You're not a father. You're not a father. You're a single mom. You're a single mom, and I assume that those kids have a father somewhere, either dead or missing. But they have a father. You single mom. Sorry, you're working hard. More power to you, but you're not the kid's father. So those are my pet peeves about Father's Day. Let the dads have a day. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody in this chat knows, I have a comic called Heroic Tales. First Ichu. Like, what sounds Japanese. I don't know. Is that even a word? I hope it's not a dirty word. First issue features the patriarch, and the patriarch is a father. He is a loving father. Here he is, right here. Here's the cover. He's a heroic father. He's a heroic father. Yeah, he is a heroic father. He's a loving father, devoted husband, beloved superhero. I made up this concept because I thought fathers were getting, put down in pop culture, denigrated. Denigrated is the word I've been thinking of for months, and it finally popped into my head. They get denigrated, and I wanted to honor the dads out there. I had a good father. My brothers are good fathers. My sisters, unfortunately, are not married to good fathers. They're kind of jerks. I don't know how that happened. But I take it back. My one sister's married to a great guy. What am I talking about? My other two sisters, whatever. the worst fathers imaginable. And so I just love this image. This is, to me, like, I wanted to make this a Father's Day card, but by the time I thought it up, it was too close. I didn't have enough time. And so maybe next year, or ongoing, if demand allows and, sales warrant, I'll make this a Father's Day card. I just love this. And on the Kickstarter, a few people have been asking, well, let me restart that. A few people are asking if I can make this the front cover, because this is the back cover. So I will make a tier if people want this as the front cover. And if you want it, you buy it, and then I print it up for you. Why not? And here we got the wonderful interior artwork by Renzo. I love that. I love that. I could look at. I looked at it a million times. I'm still not tired of it. And here we go. So that was the Heroic Tales. And all right, I got 14 people. I guess we could start. Let's see. Let's check out before I begin. I found out that PTP has 7 cats. The most I had was 4. I'm down to 2 cats. My cat is half my age. I do have 2 sons. Okay, yes, yeah, I knew you were a dad. I knew you doing well. You kids are moving on in life. They're doing good. We got David. I'll say George Perez and Teen Titans. Yes. Absolutely. Stars in your eyes. So we got 16 people watching. Let's begin. So for some reason, the aspect is off. There's always a problem. It's always a technical problem. So it looks like I'll be doing a lot of hands-on on the comic. So yeah, I bought this off the rack. John Saw, good new name. Thank you. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. PTP is a good dude. You should have him on. Yeah, I invited him on. He said he'd get back to me, and then he did. So tell him to come on. I know he's good friends with my friend Mike, who is at HeroCon, or maybe he's home by now. When you don't go, you kind of lose track of the dates. But my friend Mike knows him well. PTP invited my friend Mike to his wedding. And he's been drawing my friend Mike's character. My friend Mike is the creator of the Marshall Strong comic, which is finished up on Kickstarter, and it's in the Heroic Tales universe because it's set on the it's set from our video games, our role-playing games. Matter of fact, Mike's character Marshall Strong, Colonel Strong, has a cameo in issue 2 of Heroic Tales. Yes, I was going to spoil something, and then I decided not to spoil. A stray cat adopted us. She had kittens not long ago, and they're gradually getting used to us and letting us pick them up and pet them. Oh, that's nice. I have a stray cat. Last year, it had a litter of kittens, and one died, and the other 2 were taken in by somebody. And now that same cat had 2 kittens, and they were the friendliest kittens, and they're gone. So they had a collar on, so I think somebody scooped them up. So we got to get this cat fixed. It's just it breaks my heart every year to see these kittens and then to see them die and disappear. My wife calls her funky fur because she's missing patches of fur. She's definitely not the healthiest of cats, and I think the kittens are not the healthiest of kittens. So here we go. This is New Teen Titans number 6. This is George Perez and Marv Wolfman. I'm trying to maybe I'll move this back a little bit. Okay. There we go. That's better. That just puts me a little bit farther away, but we'll work with it. So this is for those of you who may or may not know, what was it? Brave and the Bold? Was it Brave and the Bold that debuted the Teen Titans? And then the Teen Titans had a original series. Marcus, you can refresh. Was it Nick Cardy was the artist? And I forget who the writer was. But it was kind of hokey. It was kind of weird. It was kind of fun. I don't know how this happened, but a guy on eBay around 2005 or so had a full Teen Titans from the 60s run in really good condition, just in one whole long box. I think I bid like $100, and I ended up winning. So I got the entire original run of the new Teen Titans from 1 to the last issue in one bin. It was awesome. I didn't have to run around. But I got to say, I'm saying 2005, I'm realizing it's 20 years ago, But around up to about 2010, even key issues were rather affordable, and all of a sudden, boom! Does anybody know what? I heard rumors that back issues are reducing in prices. I'm not really hunting for back issues anymore because for the most part, I have all the back issues that I want, and the ones that I don't want, I mean, the ones that I don't have are just way too expensive, like Amazing Fantasy 15 and the first Iron Man and the first Hulk. I just understand that unless I win the lottery or you guys back my comics super often, that I won't be able to afford those comics, or my channel booms and I'm making thousands of dollars a month on the commercial revenue instead of like between $80 and $120, which is good. It pays for my new comics. I have 4 cats. There's all strays who just wandered into. Yep, cats do that. Cats do that. That's how he got his current cat. Found her. She moved them under our back porch. She lived in our backyard for years. Yeah, our house came with a stray cat, and the cat's already got its ear clipped. It's a beautiful ragdoll cat, or yeah, I think it's a ragdoll cat. And big blue eyes, like grayish tan. It from a distance it looks like a small raccoon. And he was really skittish and scared at first. And so I named it Smeagol because it was always just hiding around the corner or in the bushes. And you just see these eyes. Now it comes up to you. It won't rub against you. And it won't, let you pet it. But, it doesn't run away. Even when, like, my friends come and visit. So it's starting to trust us. But it'll only, we still can't pet it or anything. Nick Cardy drew or inked all the original Teen Titans. Bob Haney wrote it. There you go. I knew Marcus knew that. So let's get to this. So I think in Justice League, they debuted the Teen Titans as like a preview comic. DC did this cool thing where they would put like an insert inside a comic. So it was like an extra 8 pages inside the middle of a comic to preview something else. I know they did it in All-Star Squadron. They inserted an 8-page story of Infinity Incorporated. And they did the same thing with the new Teen Titans in the pages of the Justice League. And so if you get Teen Titans #1, it's not the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. But here we go. For Father's Day. Beautiful love story between a loving dad, Trigon, and his daughter, Raven. Where is Raven on this cover? Raven's not even on the cover. Oh, there she is. There she is. All right, so I'm going to open it up. And from this point on, I will address the chat as I... What happened? Come on. Somebody called me. Of course, I'm doing this on my phone. So somebody called me, so it bumped this out. So aggravating. There we go. Sorry about that. It wouldn't be my channel if there wasn't technical difficulties. Who the F is calling me? Better not be one of my friends. Sometimes my friends will call me when they know I'm live just to mess me up. So here we got the new Teen Titans. I gotta adjust this light. I can't even see. I don't care if there's glare on my forehead. Okay, so here we go. Just look at this. Let's look at this splash page. Let's look at the indicia. See, volume 2. Back then, DC. Now I'm getting an echo. God, this is driving me nuts. Now, hello. How's that? Okay. Sorry about that. I had to reboot my speakers because of this stupid phone call. All right. So back then, DC did they did like magazine numbering. So volume 2, Actually, this is correct. This is correct because Teen Titans was volume 1, New Teen Titans is volume 2. So they're doing it correct. What am I talking about? DC used to do every year, they called it a volume, and every year they would change the volume number, even though it was continuing numbering series. Oh, and speaking of what year it is, what year is this? 1981, an eternity ago. So we got this splash page over here. George Perez. George Perez, to me, was one of the few superhero comic book artists that could bridge the gap between sci-fi and superheroes. He did it so effortlessly. Look at that. Look at that. Just, we got teleportation in this. It's really like now that I think about it, it's like a fantasy, sorcery, sci-fi superhero conglomeration, because this is an alternate dimension ruled by a devil, demon, whatever the difference is, Trigon. Trigon, it was like the main satanic figure in the new Teen Titans. Just look at this page over here. Look at that. So Trigon, and look at the color. It's kind of brilliant over here because George Perez is wonderfully detailed. You can see all of those people, but the background, we know it's just a red sky. So he could afford to draw all of these details and just leave the sky red. Just fill the crowd with human-like shapes, and our brain fills in all the details. I love that. Look at that face of Trigon, that like squat Jim Starlin squat face, and people are terrified. What Trigon opens up this other eye. So what's happening over here? The mother says something to Trigon. Mother, is he a monster? So Trigon's like, he called me a monster. Oh, what does she say? Master, she doesn't know she's a child. She's only a child. Because age means nothing to Trigon. So he punishes the little girl. What does she do? He ages her to death right in front of her own mother for calling Trigon. That'll prove to people that you're not a monster by aging a little girl to death. And Raven, she's watching helplessly. There's nothing she can do about it. Look at the sky is yellow. Again, sky is red. Sky is yellow. Why? Just to differentiate. Just to differentiate the panels. Otherwise, it would just become like a mix in a. Let's just look at this. So what does Raven do? She reaches out to heal this little girl because she's a good person. So at this point last night, we were talking about like Raven's powers. What powers does Raven have? Well, the obvious one is she has the power to heal. The empath. I definitely think they got this from the Star Trek, the very last Star Trek episode, the original series, the empath, where they got that mime woman who could heal people. So she could heal. She could teleport. She could teleport through, not time, but she could teleport through space and dimensions. And then she releases this soul self, and the soul does like an X. Like she releases her soul, and it does like some emotional attack on people. It has like it's sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's not physical. Like I don't particularly like when the superheroes' powers are vaguely defined so that they could change them on the fly. I like when the powers are defined. My preferred is like the Flash. We all know what the Flash can do. He can run really fast. He can vibrate his molecules through walls. He can wave. But I do like when they'll do like a one-shot power stunt, creative use for their powers that they don't normally do. And I incorporated that into my role-playing system. We call that power stunts, and there's roles to do it, and it's increased madness that could happen because in Heroic Tales and my human beings are not supposed to have superpowers. So the conduit that channels this energy, because a human can't lift 100 tons. We just don't have the physical. So the energy and the ability to do that must come from outside the body. So there's conduits to other realms, and that's where the power comes. So these conduits, this is my theory. These conduits affect the brain and the thinking, and when you draw more power to to do an overexertion or a stunt, the eyes are going to glow, and you could literally go mad, and because of that, you could literally damage reality. So, there you go. There's some. This is part of issue number 2. Issue number 1 doesn't really have all of the great repercussions. Just a straight out superhero story. Number 2 is where I hit the ground running with background information about superpower stuff. But anyway, I think superpower should be well defined. So Raven has always been my least favorite member of the Teen Titans because her powers are vague and undefined. So before I turn the page, let's check out the comments. Somehow I've become the CG historian. Well, that's because you know your stuff. And through talking through our videos, I don't have time to stop and look at Google stuff. So I asked the guy who knows his stuff. So yeah, take that. You are the comic book historian. It's not a goal. It's not a goal, but it's a heavy responsibility that has been thrust upon you. Oh, you got to see Stippling Vaughn. Damn, I really got a plan to get there next year. I really, really got a plan to get there next year. Yeah. Tag, it was really fun. Yeah, cool. I don't want to say I'm jealous because that's a negative emotion, but let's just say I wish I could have been there. Just financially, I couldn't have been. It wasn't feasible at this point. So here we got. So this is definitely Star Trek. This is from Star Trek, the last episode. Again, the empath where Dr. McCoy was hanging out with that. There's no backgrounds. It's really, really kind of a stage play episode of Star Trek where he meets the empath, and she would heal, and then she would take the wounds, and then she would heal the wounds. This is what Raven does. She takes the old age and then disperses it, so it saves the little girl. And Trigon's not stupid. He knew Raven was going to do this. This was just a display of his power. So Trigon gets a little annoyed, so he just destroys the girl into ash, or destroys the mother into ash right in front of the little girl, because he's an evil being, and we need to demonstrate how evil he is. Evil. And then look at this, George Perez, just detailed, crazy nonsense building. Look at that. Would anybody build that building? What purpose would that building serve? I'll tell you the purpose. Just to be awesome. Just to be cool, comic book awesome. And then we got Bubble Yum. Now the number Yum taste is even yummier. Yeah, the number Yum. These ads used to irrationally drive me crazy. Just driving me crazy. Good morning. Happy Father's Day to you too. What Geeks Do Network. I'm going to be in the Garden State on Saturday, Hershey's Con, in all 3 days. So you'll be there at Graham Nolan's Hawaiian shirt party. So I already bought my Hawaiian shirt. I really would like to go. So maybe I'll get to see you let me know. This is this coming Saturday night at 10 p.m. Graham Nolan's having the Hawaiian shirt party. I'll wear the Hawaiian shirt, but I don't think I could drink the whiskey because I got to have a long drive, and I'm definitely not smoking the cigar. So I'm a rebel, Donnie. Peer pressure doesn't work on me. So now we got some grit over here. We got a Superman. You made us do it. Charter member of the Superman Club. Now this is so cool. This is so cool. Join the Superman Club. Oh wow, that just gave me an idea. Should I make like a Heroic Tales club? And if so, guys, we got 33 people watching. Let's brainstorm. You're probably all smarter than me. If I was to do a Heroic Tales club, I wouldn't be able to do it in issue number 1. Issue number 1's pretty much done. It's getting lettered as we speak. So I could put like a little ad in number 2. What would be a Heroic Tales club? What would be the benefits? What would be rather, should it just be like a fun fake ad or what? Oh, you're just doing the show, not the Hawaiian shirt party. Can I persuade you to stay? Can I persuade you to stay? Now, yeah, I know you wake up early and you do your art in the bar. Now look at this. Look at that floor. Trigon is just walking through, checking out the chicks, the slave chicks. Look at Raven over there. She's like, what am I in for? And I do like how, if you look at the very first issue of the new Teen Titans, And then you go on to the second appearance of Trigon. This is, the second Trigon, Return of Trigon story. You'll see how demonic that Raven is getting. And, I do like how she has like a vaguely Indian features. To me, it kind of fits. I just love all this. So this is called a slice panel. George Perez was famous for slice panels. And if did anybody read Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics? To me, that's like one of the essential comic book textbooks. And they talk about how time is weird in comics, and weirder even in panels within comics. And it's something that we, as long-term comic book readers, understand, but don't notice if it's done right. Like, this is a panel. But up here is happening first, and then this is happening next. So time is flowing within this panel, even in a static image. And then, going like this. Would anybody looking at this page find this difficult? What order to read? I know my sister, she doesn't read the comics to her kids anymore. Her kids are getting older. But she hated reading comics because she said she didn't know how to read them. She didn't know what order to read the panels. And then comics could be a little difficult when you pick up a comic and it's the third issue in a 6-issue arc and you don't really know, and they don't bring you up to speed anymore. So I understand her frustration, which is why in my comic every issue will be a standalone issue, but if you read them you'll be able to pick up what's going on. But I'm going to try to bring everybody up to speed as best I can in every issue. Self-contained, full story, no cliffhangers, no 6 multi-part stories, because I think it's not fair to make you wait 9 months to a year for the next issue, I need a bubble pipe for the meetup. That would be funny. Member card, ring, and certificate. That would be great. I mean, a certificate would be easy to make. That would be easy to make. A member card would be real easy to make. I could make them, cut them out, laminate them, and mail them with a certificate. But the decoder ring, how would I do that? But that is fun. That is a real fun idea. How would I make a decoder ring? If anybody has, I will do that. If anybody can figure out how to affordably make a decoder ring, I would absolutely do that. Start working on it right now. Absolutely. Hey, Torchbearer Studio. But I love that idea. I have both Understanding Comics and Making Comics. I don't have Making Comics. Maybe I should get Making Comics. You need to come up with something similar to the Mary Marching Society for the name of your fan club. Yeah, and boom, Friends of Old Marvel. Yeah, you read it in a Z. Yeah, that, like I said, my sister would be confused. But we're all comic book pros. Let's see now. So now we have Trigon telling his story. And I love that Jim Starlin eyeballs in space. Just, whenever you see the eyeballs, you know that Trigon's up to nonsense. And what do we have here? Raven is just, she's using her vaguely undefined powers to do something, because that's what she does. She does things. Now what do we have here? We have another splash page with the actual credits. And for those of you who do not know, this is the original new Teen Titans. How's that for like an oxymoron? We got Robin, Dick Grayson, Robin. George Perez always made Robin look like a young adult baby. I don't know. We got Kid Flash in one of the coolest superhero costumes of all time. I love that costume. How cool is that? The flared gloves, the inverse red and yellow boots and gloves. It's just so good. Not a wasted line on that costume. Perhaps one of the best superhero costumes of all time. Starfire, she's original to this series, so she was the MacGuffin that got the team to form. For those of you who don't know, she was kind of modeled on George Perez's wife, and then that's gonna drive me. Charveron, a Puerto Rican singer, from the 60s. She looks just like that. If you go to my community posts and scroll back, you'll see an image, and I will put I'll put up a picture of her. Iris Chavarone just looks just like her. Those were the inspirations for Starfire. That big flowing head of hair, and then George Perez, he always likes to incorporate metal if he can into the costumes. So she's got these metal costumes. She's a princess, Coriandor of the planet Tamarind, I forget which one. And those people evolved from lions, and her people are very emotional. They wear their hearts in their sleeves. They're lustful, they're wrathful, they're angry and violent, loving. They have all the emotions that we have, but they're amped up to 11. Then we have Changeling. He was originally Beast Boy. They changed him to Changeling, and then they brought him back to Beast Boy. At the time, I thought Beast Boy was a stupid name, but now as an adult, I love Beast Boy. It's just a great name. So, Beast Boy was his original name. Changeling is what I'm used to, and then he went back to Beast Boy. And I gotta say, I think Beast Boy is the better name for him, with his Doom Patrol inspired costume. He was the Garfield Logan. He was adopted by Rita Farr, the Elasti Woman, and her husband Mento, who became like an absent stepdad for him. Oh, just look at all the father figures, the issues in this page. I know his gimmick is he turns into animals and the animals are green. Drives me crazy. Drives me absolutely crazy that all the animals turn green, but that's kind of his charm and uniqueness, so I would not change it. But even though it drives me crazy. Then we got Donna Troy, Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl, oh my God, do I feel bad for Wonder Girl? This girl is just the most out of place character. She was created in the Teen Titans, if I remember correctly, and she has like 14 different origins. They're always changing, always messing with poor Donna, and they did this wonderful story within the Teen Titans. Who is Donna Troy? Where Dick Grayson goes and tracks down where her family came from. But now I don't even know. Like, is that invalidated? Is she born on Amazon Isle? Is she born a human? Or did Wonder Woman rescue her? Like, poor girl. Then she became a Dark Star. Then her whole timeline got erased and brought back. And I don't even know if anybody. She's the only character that suffered more for having retcons. Is there's the three triumphant women of DC that had their histories rearranged so much. Donna Troy, I think, suffered the second most. She's still around as far as I know. Power Girl, and then Jeff Johns just said, yeah, she's the survivor of a destroyed universe. Streamlined it and made her real cool. That worked. And then Fury, from the Infinity Incorporated, they wrecked her backstory so much. I think they just got rid of the character. I don't think Helena, I don't even know what background, but she was the daughter of the original Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. Then Crisis on Infinite Earths made her like Cosmetopoulos, some unpronounceable Greek name. And then they kind of just got rid of her. Then she became the mother of the new incarnation of Sandman, and I don't know. And blue-eyed blonde girl, of course, she's a black girl in the Sandman TV show because a girl born in the island of Greece is African these days. I don't know. But there you go. I love this because this is let's talk about so I love the Teen Titans because every trope was covered by the Teen Titans. It's brilliant. So we got Robin over here. Robin, we all know, is the adopted son, the ward, whatever you want to, of Bruce Wayne Batman. So that's the father figure. Since it's Father's Day, we'll talk about that. And then we also talk about the concept of sidekicks now is kind of abusive. So is Bruce Wayne a good dad? That's the concept for the philosophers to decide. Is putting like what was he, 10 years old, 12 years old when Robin debuted, putting a 10-year-old in bright colors to be the target, and fight. Yeah, that's kind of we get Child Protective Services after you if you were doing that. But it was a different time. I like Robin because he adds street level vigilante and detective ideas to the Teen Titans. So right away we got we got Detective. Then we got Wonder Girl over here. Wonder Girl is tied to Wonder Woman, and therefore the Greek mythology. So now we have mythological characters. So we have detectives and mythological stories. Our father, wasn't even a question. So in her story. Then we got Wally West, the Flash, the sidekick to Barry Allen. That's his father figure. Barry Allen's a good guy. He didn't put a costume on him and make him fight crime. He went out and recreated the accident, got his own powers, and then Barry just trained him. But with his superpowers, it's a little bit more forgivable. He's like, unbelievably powerful and hard to hurt. So I'm a little bit more forgiving for this. And he brings regular superheroes to the Teen Titans. So we got Detective, we got mythological, we got regular superheroes. Then we got Starfire. She was captured on another planet by the Gordian slavers, and let's be realistic. What do they want her for a slave? She got freed and joined the Teen Titans. She brings aliens. So now we got sci-fi, we got aliens, we got spacefaring, Star Wars, all this stuff into the Teen Titans. Look at all these genres that just fit into this team. We got Garfield Logan, the Doom Patrol. That's the link to DC's past and a bygone age of like the Doom Patrol as misfits and outcasts. So we got like this X-Men kind of stories that we could tell. And then we got Victor Stone, Cyborg, my favorite member of the team. Victor Stone was a cool guy, man's man, gifted with physicality. He was a football player. He was a champion football player. He was a good student, just like Ben Grimm, the Thing. He suffered a misfortunate accident. His parents were dead, and he was being raised by his his parents were killed in this tragic accident, and then he was raised by his grandparents, who were vaudeville comedians. I love that backstory. Though completely different. And he brings sci-fi, science, gadgetry to the Teen Titans. And then of course we got Raven over here, who brings horror, supernatural, and demons. Just all of the tropes, so that you could tell any story in the Teen Titans and it fits. Like Batman, in a Batman comic book, I got to admit, when Batman's on other planets, it pulls me out of Batman. Batman, is the best when he's fighting muggers and people robbing banks and stealing TVs, and kidnapping people. That to me is the best kind of Batman story. But the Teen Titans, you can have going to a hellish dimension to fight a satanic figure like Trigon, or you could go to the other planet and fight off an empire, or just regular supervillains, or wacky misadventures of creepy, bizarre misfit adventures. You could have sci-fi, guys building the sonic device to destroy the world, and of course, you could go to Tartarus to defeat the Hydra. It's just so brilliant, and along with detective stories. All right, before I turn the page. You read it in a Z. Perez is a heavy influence on me. Yeah, I'm not even an artist, and Perez is a heavy influence on me. I say this all the time. George Perez and John Byrne, they're rotating electrons on an atom. Which one is my favorite? Right now, George Perez is my favorite. Why? Because I'm looking at George Perez. If I was looking at John Byrne, he's my favorite. But that's how close it is. That's the field, and that's why Renzo drawing my comic is great, because to me he looks like a bit of both, And Zach Tan is a drive-by blessing. Thank you. I could always use a blessing. I always picture Zach Tan just driving by like Wally West, just running by, whoosh, throwing some holy water on me. Have a blessed day. Wish Wonder Girl made it to. Oh, she didn't. She didn't make it to the series. I didn't know that. HDF, I don't know what Kate's saying. Can anybody translate emojis into old fart for me, please? Have fun day, coffee. Can anybody explain that to me? Don't forget they ruined Hawkgirl too. Did they in the Teen Titans? Because Hawkgirl was awesome. Oh, yes. They ruined Hawkgirl in the pages of DC with all the reboots and everything. And it took a genius like Jeff Jones to fix her. but yes, she was originally Shira, then Shayara, and then what was the darker Indian looking girl? And that was creepy because they made her like 18 years old and Carter Hall like 45 years old. It was a little creepy, you know. And you are destined to be my wife, you know. And then whatever. And then Jeff Johns kind of just straightened it out, you know, with a long. He took what I consider a long-winded, convoluted origin and just straightened it out. He did the same thing with Power Girl. He's just awesome. Big fan, big fan. I'm getting to go. Anybody read the Ghost Machine comics? I think the Ghost Machine comics have a hard premise, like a hard to understand, hard to explain premise, but or a high concept, I guess, as Chuck Dixon would say. But they work out. And now I got a Norton antivirus thing popping up, and I can't get rid of it. And I'm afraid to click on things, so I can't read the chat. Come on. Get off my screen. Okay, there it goes. Kate, good morning. Okay, Kate, I thought she was explaining. Just as good as Marvel's X-Men. Absolutely. Everybody knows that the Teen Titans became a juggernaut. You know, everybody knows that. But I don't know. Does everybody know that the Teen Titans were the main competitors? The Teen Titans in the 80s and X-Men in the 80s were the comics to get. Hawkman's history is pretty screwed up too. Yeah, convoluted, and I love Hawkman. I love all the incarnations of Hawkman. I love the tie to history and HFD, how effing dumb. I don't know. Am I being insulted? I don't know what's going on. All right. I don't speak about. Oh, happy Father's Day. Duh. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Happy Father's Day. Drinking some coffee and chilling out. Okay, I get it. Thank you. Duh. Old man doesn't speak emojis. So let's look at the credits and then flip the page. We got Marv Wolfman and George Perez, co-creators. I love that. Pablo Marcos, guest inker. Pablo Marcos is Filipino. And who was it that said that during World War II, the American GIs were going to Japan and they would go in the Philippines and they were reading comics and then leaving the comics. And that's how come they got like Japanese comic creators and Filipino comic creators. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I love the idea of the American GIs like a virus spreading the love of comic books throughout the world, because you know, in the 70s, there was a lot of Filipino creators, and I'd like to think that's how it happened. George Costanza, letterer, George Serpe, colorist, and Len Wein, editor. Len Wein is one of the comic book greats. And again, I'll address the chat when I turn the page. So now we have Raven being dressed up for this horrible ritual that Trigon has for her. Now, a little bit of Raven's origin. I don't know what they did in the comic books, but she is from a dimension, and there's a planet called Azareth. Now, I don't know if Azareth is the name of the dimension or if it's the name of the planet or what. But there's this extra-dimensional, hellish-like, it's like a good blend between like theological fantasy and sci-fi and demonic, you know. So it's again, I don't know if it's the only world in this dimension or whatever. That's something worth explaining. But on Azareth, there's these like human exiles that worship Trigon, and they emigrated to the planet Azareth, and they worship this demonic figure. And they offered one woman, Raven's mother, whose name I can't recall, as a sacrifice, like a Rosemary's Baby sacrifice. But she willingly did the nasty with Trigon, and Raven here is the result. And now she is going to be she's like the perfect human vessel and heir to the power of Trigon. You know, this like the daughter of Satan kind of thing. And you know, definitely inspired by Rosemary's Baby, which was a phenomenon and a wonderful movie. And now the Teen Titans ain't going to let any of that happen. Look at that picture of Starfire. And I love that yeah, this was big at the time, like these individual energy signatures. Like you could see Starfire, and you could hear that squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Like she's shooting a power blast with these like bursts of energy. Pop, 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 pop. So you could kind of see like it throbbing and moving. Did they do that in the comics? Like, is that how her powers work? And they kind of don't do that in modern comics, which is a shame because I just love that uniqueness to her ability. They did that in the Legion of Superheroes. You know, everybody had these unique laser beams, and so there was a famous panel of them all shooting at Darkseid, and you could see you could see Darkseid being hit by like 20 different energy beams, and you could see that you could name the superheroes by their energy beams. It was so much fun and creativity at the time. So now we got Wonder Woman in old gold. You know, I love that advertisement. It's like whispered up here. And we got Wonder Woman over here. So what does she do? I knew he couldn't. So she uses her vaguely undefined powers to turn herself into gold. And when the guy comes up to get her, she lassos him and gives him Twinkies. Because Wonder Woman is smart. She's a good old girl. She understands that Twinkies are delicious and fruit pies are horrible. Only monsters eat fruit pies. Let's address the chat. Yeah, I remember the old new Teen Titans being big. I just couldn't afford to buy it as a kid. Was there a previous version of the Teen Titans? Yes, the original Teen Titans came out in the 60s. It was like Marcus said, drawn by Nick Cardy and who was the writer? Bob Haney. Bob Haney was the writer. Nick Cardy was the artist. It was hokey. It was fun. It was typical Silver Age DC with like the Mad Bod and go-go dancers, and later on they invented new characters like Gabriel Hornblower and I forget the name of the Bee Girl and Lilith, who they all came back in the comics. So yes, I forget how many issues it lasted. I forget exactly how many issues it lasted, and then they brought it back as the new Teen Titans. Hi, Skibidi Razor. We got, oh my bad, I'm explaining gamer lingo abbreviation. I didn't think you were insulting me. I didn't think you were insulting me. I'm kind of riffing and talking nonsense. I knew I have a wonderfully pleasant audience. You guys take everything in the best possible way. When I started my YouTube channel, when I first started, I ended the argument era of the internet. I think we all went through it where somebody on the internet is wrong. But when I started doing a YouTube channel, I said, I don't want to get banned and I don't want to be known as the argumentative guy. So I just told myself that I'm going to take everything in the most positive light possible unless I know for a fact that it was meant to be an insult. And it was difficult. Now, 3 years later on YouTube, it's become second nature. I just assume everybody's saying the pleasant thing. Everybody means it in the best possible way. And it really changed. It made the internet pleasant and happy. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everything is pleasant and happy now because it's all up here. So I don't think anybody's insulting me. And if it is an insult, then I think it's ribbing. You know what I mean? How guys rib each other. Pablos Marcos inked Perez on those great Avengers book. Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he did. George Perez and Pablo Marcos were the first Avengers artists that I discovered when I started collecting the Avengers. That was the team. So man, do I love Perez and Pablo Marcos. Rosemary's Baby scared me when I was a kid. It still scares me today. To me, that's the scariest horror movie because the conspiracy scares me. What's block? Oh, my coffee cup. What scares me is not slasher movies. What scares me is like stuff that can really happen, and you can really get a group of people to conspire to gaslight and trick somebody, and it happens. I don't believe in the occult, but I believe that people believe in the occult. So Rosemary's Baby, to me, is a terrifying movie, and my wife and I went through a phase where we like, you pick a horror movie, I'll pick a horror movie. And the movies that she picked are slasher movies, and she was sitting there terrified. That doesn't scare me. I kind of find that funny. But like, we watched Rosemary's Baby, and I'm like, and she was like, yeah, it was all right. It was a good movie. She wasn't scared of it. Yeah, but like the Blair Witch, I find that to be a scary movie. And paradoxically, the first Night of the Living Dead scares me. I know it can't happen, but for whatever reason, that scares that scares me. John's Long Box. Next time, pull out that issue of Darkseid getting hit with all those lasers. Oh, I think I've done it. I know I did it as a showcase. I'm not sure if I did it as a Sunday's comic, but that's the culmination of the Legion of Superheroes Great Darkness saga, and I know that's one of RJ from the Fourth Age's favorite comics. We talk about that quite often, actually. Yeah, I avoided all mentions of references to Satan as a kid. Grew up religious. My parents are Roman Catholic. Irish, Italian. I was an altar boy, but we never had that, like, you couldn't say Satan, you couldn't say hell or anything like that. Like, but I went to Catholic school. Hail Peeps. Hail Edwin. How you doing? How's everything? Is it really stoic skill to be unmoved by negative edit? I think I've unlocked an ability where, like, I joke around. I put up my force. My shields are up. My shields are up. Like, the drama doesn't penetrate my shields. Insults don't hurt me. I've become the Buddha. No, but it's a skill. Like, I don't let stuff online get mad at me. I posted how I don't care about the Eric July, and I don't care about EVS and them fighting. Let them fight. It doesn't affect me. And somebody got mad at me for not being affected by that. Guy on Twitter, like, I don't want to say his name. I was going to say his name. And he was like, "Oh, I was on your channel," and I'm like, "What am I saying? I'm saying that I don't care. It doesn't affect me. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to talk about." And to be crude, if like super chats could sustain me so I could quit my construction job, oh my God, this would be great. Or add revenue or comic book sales, that would be great. Midsummer, a super scary movie in the same way. Oh yeah, I wanted to watch that. Yeah, that was like a big hit, and then I forgot about it. Thank you for reminding me. That is the kind of movie that would scare me. So let's get into this. So now we got look at that smoke and debris. The Perez principle is whenever something breaks, draw 10 times the amount of rubble. It really makes it dynamic. And all these cultists are like talking to Teen Titans. Just look at the Wally West is getting mad. How dare you do this to Raven? Because they had an on again, off again love interest. Teen Titans. They did. I think that the X-Men and the Teen Titans really were the go-to comics for girls in comics at the time. Girls, and why? Because of the soap opera. Let's be realistic. The boys really like the action and the drama and the hot chicks, everything like that. And the women loved the action and the drama and the hot chicks too. I'm not going to, but they also like the relationships. Everybody's in love. So you had like Dick Grayson and Starfire, the on again, off again relationship. Then you had Wally West. He likes Raven, and Raven can't like him because she's demonic. And then you had Garfield Logan, who was hitting on everybody, and then he had that long-term girlfriend whose name escapes me. Then he had Terra. I don't want to spoil Terra, how that ended, but that is the Judas Contract. Oh, what a good comic. And then, of course, you had Vic Stone and, why can't I remember his girlfriend, Christine? Just, just like Ben Grimm and Alicia. You can't love me. I'm a freak. I love the Pinocchio. Pinocchio being the person who was human, lost the humanity, and therefore becomes the most human. So Victor Stone, I said he's my favorite because he's the Pinocchio of the group, and I have such a soft spot. He just wants to be a real boy. He views himself as a freak. I could see Victor Stone and Ben Grimm just hanging out together, just playing cards, talking, or tinkering on something, talking, and really becoming fast friends. And throw in Hellboy, throw in Atomic Robo. Even though Hellboy and Atomic Robo never were human, Metamorpho. I love, like, the Pinocchio. They're not real and they want to be able. So now they're talking about, Raven's origin over here. And again, this is the kind of stuff that would drive my sister crazy. Does she read it like this? But as comic book people, we understand. So this is Raven's mother. She went to an occult bookstore. She read about Trigon. She joined some hippy dippy cult. Next thing you know, she's on another planet. And they use her as a vessel, and Trigon comes to her in this dreamy form, and she does the nasty in front of everybody. And there you go. Here's the origin of you know. Look at that, George Perez. You know, it's all dreamy and everything. Look at the ecstasy. You know, and now he basically mocks her now, and she's like, "What's going on?" And she sees his true form. Look at that. And now he won't damage her because he smacks her around a little bit, revels in his petty cruelty, and then leaves her naked on, you know, just already. Oh, just an abusive, horrible guy. Happy Father's Day, everybody. And, you know, that's Raven's dad. And now, you know, she's wandering lost, you know, looking for help. And, oh, she's on Earth. She's on Earth. And then what happens is the people from Azarath, I think I got it wrong. I think Azarath is where like these people fled to protect themselves from Trigon. I forget, maybe Marcus remembered. And now she goes to Azarath where people will help her. And let's check out the comments. Yeah, I really like Midsommar. I prefer that type of horror than slashers, but I do love 80s horror. Yeah, I like them both. My older brother, as much as I'm into comics, he's into horror movies. You know, he's got a horror movie room like I have a comic book room. And as kids, we would just go to every horror movie. He would just take me as a kid, him and his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife. And then he would wake me up in the middle of the night during the summer. We'd go downstairs and watch horror movies on TV. You know, it was a lot of fun. So I do, you know, I don't claim to know as much about horror movies as somebody like Brian Bow, who's just, you know, I tried to stump him. I tried to step up and he shot me down when I learned my lesson. Brian Bow knows his horror movies. But I like horror movies. But to be scared of horror movies, the psychological aspect of a horror movie scared. Like Pacific Heights, has anybody seen that? Michael Keaton plays the psycho tenant. Oh my God, that's scary. That is so scary. Michael Keaton is terrifying. We all got scared in that scene in the Spider-Man movie when he's chauffeuring Liz and Pete to the dance, and all of a sudden he realizes that he's Spider-Man. That was a scary scene. That was one of my favorite scenes in all the Marvel movies. Ace Volume 3 by Edwin. There you go. Pick it up. It's live. I love that we're helping other people. Yes, these were comics for girls after romance comics ended. I'm like, will romance comics come back? I don't know, but I think they should give it a try. Interview on Jason Bascom's channel tonight. Oh wow, good for you. Cool. Yes, Sarah Chalk, is that her name? Sarah? No, Sarah Chalk is an actress, but I think her name was like Sarah something. Cyborg's girlfriend. So now we got. Look at that. Raven is born. Look. You know, you can see the little baby is born. Trigon screaming through her. You know, and Cyborg is just like, you know, we got to do something. We got to save. You know, we can't just let her be offered up to the devil. Gandalf over there. Then we got this save money, subscribe now. What was that? Joyce DeWitt. Look at that. Oh, Carol Fine. Okay. Yeah, Carol Fine was a real person who was in charge of DC subscriptions. But she doesn't exist because we all know women didn't exist before Heather Antos got hired by comic books. You know, so guys, you know, at this, Karen Berger, you know, Jeanette Kahn, you know, I forget the name of the woman that went around helping stores, you know, set up how to buy comics. There's so many powerful women in comics. Look at this run. Out of all of these, at this point, this is before the Crisis on Infinite Earth. The only DC comics that I was collecting were Legion of Superheroes and the New Teen Titans. But there's so many good stuff. Like Jonah Hex was awesome. It's right here on the top of my to read pile. Jonah Hex. I'm up to issue 12. These are awesome. But I wouldn't touch Cowboy Comics at the time. I wouldn't touch War Comics. Carol Kalish. That is the name I was talking about. That's why you're the comic book CG historian. That's my favorite part of Homecoming. See Keaton's performance and realize, yeah, that was terrifying. Oh my God, I thought it was so good. Michael Keaton is a phenomenal actor. Now look at this page. This I'm going to put the comic back so you can see the whole. But look at this setup. Again, this is we take it for granted of But this is the kind of stuff that would drive my sister crazy. I'm trying to adjust it. There we go. There. Tighten it up so it doesn't drop. But my sister wouldn't be able to read this. Does she read it like this? You know what I mean? But we've been doing this for a while. We're not amateurs, and I think it's just wonderfully laid out. And it's bizarrely laid out. Why? Because they're in another dimension. And this Kirby influence, you see this, this is unique George Perez with an obvious Kirby influence and an obvious Steve Ditko influence, just put into a blender and then poured out it's just wonderful. Just wonderful. I mean, look at this strange, bizarre, weird angles. No two panels share the same. Well, over here there's 3 flat angles, but everything all just different perspectives. They go into this Mobius Steve Ditko dimension up and down these stairs. Just so freaking cool. Look at that. A lot of words. And at this point, I should say that Marv Wolfman, he was the editor-in-chief at Marvel for a while, or was he a group editor? I forget. But I think he was a editor-in-chief at Marvel right after, I don't know, there was Stan Lee, then there was Roy Thomas, then I think it was like Len Wein, and then Marv Wolfman, and I forget. There was like a couple of them that just rotated the seat. And Marv Wolfman told George Perez, "You're not that good. You need to improve." And George Perez was really upset, but he took it to heart and he upped his game. A lot of people at Marvel were losing their jobs, and George Perez says, I just had a kid. I just got married. I can't lose my job. And he upped his game. If you see his original stuff for Marvel in the Sons of the Tiger and in Masters of Kung Fu, you could see hints of the glory of George Perez to come, but it wasn't there yet. And Marv Wolfman lit a fire under him, scared him a little bit, and smacked him on the behind and told him, "You got to improve." And he did. He upped his game because he didn't want to lose his job. And now Marv Wolfman and George Perez created one of the most beloved runs of all comic book history, where George Perez said that he couldn't stand Marv Wolfman for a while. Yes, Marcus is fact-checking me. He was the editor-in-chief of Marvel for a short time. I think like a year, only a year. And now we got, again, the George Perez slice panel over here. Just glorious. Just freaking glorious. Like, a lot of dialogue. A lot of dialogue. And then we got this Kid Flash. And he comes to this like Jack Kirby inspired demon dog. Look at that. So cool. He runs out in front of everybody. What does that mean? That means he's facing Trigon alone. And Trigon just staring at the ball. Robin, I don't know about you guys, but I love when the non-powered guy is in charge of the heroes, like Dick Grayson leading the New Teen Titans, Batman leading the Justice League, or Batman leading the Outsiders, and then you have Rick Flag leading the Suicide Squad, and there's another one, Image Comics. They had like, I forget what team it was, but they had just like a military guy leading a team of super powerful being. I don't know. I really, really love that trope. I love that. Because if you have no powers and you're hanging with powerhouses like Wonder Girl and Kid Flash, you better have the skills. Because if you're just the average Joe in a bright costume, why are you on a team with Thor or an Iron Man and the Vision? You know what I mean? You better be able to back it up. So I love that. Through sheer force of personality and brains, they force themselves to the head of the team. Just amazing. Look at this. This dog just slams down, tosses them all. So good. So good. And here we have Sea Monkeys. The Sea Monkey ad. My friend Mike ordered the Sea Monkeys, and you don't get happy flesh-colored humanoid creatures. You get smelly brine shrimp that just waste your time. They found out that they could like dry them out and they stay stable, and they get activated with moisture. It's just it was the biggest scam. Anybody get sea monkeys? Anybody get sea monkeys? And I will say that there's a sea hippies ad drawn by Matt Bauer in my comic. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm so glad that we saw this. Oh, Joe Orlando drew the Sea Monkeys ad. I didn't know that. Again, comics day historian over there. And here we got. Just look at the size and mass of that beast. Look at this guy reeling back from that. And what's he do? Just look at that. Look at the fear in his face. Trigon, the contempt. And then you see, he just lets go of the chain. What great storytelling. What great. George Perez has these little micro slices and you crunch. Just such contempt for his underlings. And then this slice panel, the darkness, you got Raven's mother visiting Raven in this doom dungeon. Just so cool. Just so good. Nope, I saved my money for comics. Did anybody buy anything from any of these ads? I'm so curious. Did anybody get anything? And if you did, was it as advertised? Were you happy with it? Were you disappointed? I'm trying to think. My friend Mike got the Roman soldiers, and it was just cardboard cutouts. He was so disappointed. But I never sent away for anything. I should have. That would be funny. Look at this now. This demonic panel. Just dragons wrecking everything. Trigon guiding them. It's just this is just Kirby level cosmic destruction. Just look at that, comic book. Guys, I love comic books. Love comic books. Why do we want to talk about anything else? Why do we want to talk about who got arrested, going where he shouldn't have gone? That's just, who cares? Let's talk about Raven and her mom dealing with this Trigon transformed into this horror star. Look, Trigon with these weird looking antlers that shouldn't work, but yet they do, with this two-faced visage. It's just so good. He opens up when Trigon opens up the other eyes, just destruction. And the mother's got these vaguely undefined sorcery powers, you know what I mean? And then unfortunately they can't withstand the power of Trigon. And Raven is now trapped in a circle of fire, but Trigon wants her to be obedient to him, subservient to him, but he doesn't want to damage her because this is his human vessel. He wants to win her. This is Darkseid, or Darth Vader rather, talking to Luke to try to sway him to his side. And she's resistant. I always loved that. I always thought Raven was so pretty. Look at that face. And then it was later on, her face like deformed into like a demonic visage. It was just so good. Trigon is battling now. Where we got the gateway opening. She flees. Trigon is now taunting the Teen Titans. They're all just, rather than why kill them? Why kill them when you can just taunt them? Calm yourself. For this key will not only free our fellow Titan, but free our dimension from the horrors of Trigon's rule. And then we got this ad over here. High school rings. Just because you're a dropout doesn't mean you can't buy a fake high school ring and trick people into thinking you graduated. Comics got your back. The Incredible Hulk Man in only 7 days. Mental and physical power. Self-defense. Comic book. These are for nerds. You know what I mean? Like skinny little twerps. Comics got your back. You get bullied at school. They're taking your lunch money because you like Richie Rich. You look at all these ads. You read all of these ads. Boom. Nobody's gonna bully nobody no more. So Marcus says he bought the Army Men, but they were thin plastic. Did they break instantly? They were a little tiny. I never liked thin Army Men. I never liked Green Army Men until one day me and my friends came up with like rules for a game that we were like, we turned it into like a tactical miniatures war game. Then I really liked it. Yeah, I was rebagging my comics. I found it to be a soothing experience. Absolutely. I love bagging and boarding comics. I love a big stack of bagging and boarding comics. But I know Marcus likes when I do the cataloging my collection videos, and I haven't done one in a while just because carrying the boxes around gets on me, and I've been working a lot of overtime. But it is soothing. It is fun to do. I got to get back to that. Maybe tonight I got to chop wood. I got piles of wood on my front lawn from a tree that we had trimmed. Oh, my easel fell down. So now we got where are we? The Earth is the prize. Trigon's on this, eye of the dais over here, and just chaos is going on. The ritual is now going to be complete. Kid Flash rescues Raven, the girl he loves, and I love this. Garfield Logan, Beast Boy, Changeling, whatever, he turns into a Triceratops, and the green kind of fits over there to fight this bestial demon dog, We got mother and daughter hanging out with the Flash in the middle, Cosmic Kirby Crackle flying all over the place. Robin is just leading the team. Nobody knows what to do. Wonder Girl has done absolutely nothing in this entire issue. Focus. So they're coming up with the scheme. Here they now come. They're going to do stuff. She's flying up with her Wonder Woman lassos, and now what do? We have Kid Flash spinning around to redirect all this ambient energy. And what does she do? She lassos Trigon. Use this godlike power to contain this demonic being. Raven is now using her soul self, boosted by Mommy over here. Wally West is spinning around because that helps. That helps. And then what do? I love this. Robin is got the binoculars out, and he's using his expertise, pinpoint expertise, to guide Cyborg and Starfire. They're connected. They make a circuit so their energy is in tandem, and and they're just firing. Everything is all teamed up, and then boom, we got this energy that just pins him, so he can't roll with it. He can't dodge because he's tied up, and all this energy is being directed around. And what do? They just do the killing blow and banish. Boom! They send him into the void. Can you see him? Just like Morgoth passed between the gates of night, and the mother goes after him. Arella, that's her name. And Arella goes after him. No, Garfield defeats the demon dog, and I love that he's staggering because this is one of the few times they put like logical weaknesses, like Marvel style weaknesses in the comics, because the bigger, the more mass that he draws to transform, the more it exhausts him. Like at one issue, he turned into Tyrannosaurus Rex, and like he was out for the rest of the comic. I love that. So Raven, of course, is lost her mommy. Wally West is being a Mac Daddy over here. He's being a good guy. I'm being facetious. He's a good guy. She lost her mother. She goes, "Let Trigon be permitted to ever roam free again." So they banished Trigon to beyond the beyond. Assault on Titan's tower. It'll be good. Just a masterful comic, and I love reading the letters pages. You couldn't pay me to read this stuff as a kid, but I love checking out to see if there's any names of people that we know, people who become creators. And no, I don't recognize any of these names. Mystery in Space, and then we got Let's Go Trucking. Models. What a great comic! For Father's Day, we watched a dad abuse his daughter, and then the daughter beat up her dad. Lose her mom and her father. Happy Father's Day. Hey, Henry, good to see you. Hail, Henry. Otherwise known as J.D. Maltman. Is that your real name? I don't. Finding this comic on my iPad. Oh, yeah, it's a good comic. So what, like Comicology? You gonna read it? I think Jim Shooter had one of his letters published in the letters page. Yeah, Jim Shooter was, he started working when he was 14 years old for DC, and he wrote a lot of letters. Yeah, this is a guy who, and he's still able to work. Why don't they hire him to run Marvel DC? You know, he saved Marvel once. You don't think he could do it again? That splash page is great. It absolutely is. This is a great comic. Yes, DC Infinite. Okay, so you're checking it out on your iPad. So there you go. Been talking now for an hour and 15 minutes as usual. The comic is over. So now I'll keep talking as long as the chat is active. Anybody have plans for Father's Day? Anybody doing anything? My wife and I might go to a diner, get a big breakfast skillet. You know, I got to go and clean up, chop some wood, and then I got to do a once last review of the comic and send it over to Bill for lettering. So that's my day. So there you go. Oh, okay. What do we say here? I used to go by JD Maltman on Twitter. Henry is my real name. Okay. So there you go. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Anything anybody else want to say? Last night I did a 4-hour live stream for It's Clobbering Time, a new series that it's just good old-fashioned comic book brawls. You know, who would win in a fight? It was fun. We did the Hulk versus the Flash, and then I drank a lot of coffee, so I did it for 4 hours. I don't really want to do 4-hour streams. I know if I see a stream that's 4 hours, I don't watch it. I don't have time for that. So I think an hour is the good thing, is my sweet spot. And but it was fun. I had 100 and something people, 50, 160 people watching. So it's hard to turn off when you got a lot of people watching. But that's the kind of fights I want. So we did Hulk versus Flash. Anybody else have it? And this is what I would like to do is maybe on Twitter start like a poll. Who would you like to see fight it out? You know, we almost like a sports bracket. Pick the two most popular, and then form teams. I'm team blue and your team red, and then when you pop into the chat, have like images ready to go, like of great feats. But let's be fair. So if you're gonna pick, I don't know, Superman, you got to bring up Superman's kryptonite. You know what I mean? If you're going to pick Captain Marvel, you got to bring up the fact that not only is he super powerful, but this is his weakness. You know what I mean? And keep it fun. Keep it fun. I know a couple of people were that always devolves into a fight. Well, it didn't devolve into a fight. I like to think my audience is we can handle it. We're mature. What does he say here? I spent time with my dad last. Good for you. Good for you. My dad passed. Yes, spend some time with your parents. Shooter doesn't want to work for the comic company. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. One last thing I'd like to say: skibbity beady boobity boo. Have a blessed Father's Day, everybody. Absolutely, an hour is good. Yes. I had 160 people. Matt Barr started streaming about playing video games. And I just went into his chat and busted his chops. And he was like, well, then you start a stream. I was like, all right, I started a stream. And then he, linked his channel to my channel and his audience. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Twitter has an average of 120 viewers throughout the stream. Of mine last night? Cool. Yeah, so 120. I don't... Right now, I'm seeing up here in the corner, it says 48 people. Now, I don't know if that's just YouTube, or if it's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I don't know. Superman versus Captain America. Who won? I say the Hulk won. But the outlier is, can the Flash vibrate through the Hulk? And if he can vibrate through the Hulk, is the inside of Hulk's body radioactive and would it hurt? This is the kind of nerdy stuff I love exploring. So what I said was, the situation that I envisioned is Hulk is just going on a rampage through Central City. Barry Allen turns into Flash, starts fighting, starts to learn that this is not an ordinary guy. He's got so he's doing everything he can. Hulk is just brushing off all of Flash's attacks, but he's not doing anything to the Flash. The Flash is just too fast. So they just keep going and keep going and keep going. Now, unless the Flash could take him out right away, the fight goes to the Hulk, because as soon as Flash gets tired or the Hulk gets a lucky grab, fight is over. So that's how it went. What do you think? Alfred versus Jarvis. Oh man, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. Alfred will kick Jarvis's ass. Starfire from the Teen Titans versus Supergirl or Power Girl. These are all good ones. So I'm going to put a Twitter poll up. Happy Sunday. Thank you, RJ. Thank you. Alfred from Earth Zero trained Batman. He's a killer. Alfred, the main continuity, will sneak up on you and knock you out. I like that better. I like when the humans are more stealthy and smart, know their limitations. The only exception being I like Dick Grayson being in the forefront, because he's a showboat. You know, he wears the yellow and red, so he's there to be the distraction. I like that. Trying to build up a 90s style 2D button mashing combat video game like well, but for RNH. Oh, that would be awesome. I would love to see the Patriarch fighting. And if you ever do that, I'll have to give you some inside secrets, because Patriarch is designed to look overpowerful. He's designed to look overpowered, but he's not. He's actually pretty limited. So that would be great. So yeah, yes, let me know. Keep me in the loop. That's interesting. Robin is a distraction. Yeah, that's Batman is the dark one. Send Robin out. Everybody looks at Robin, and then Batman sneaks up behind you and chokes you out. Patriarch fight Nexus. Yeah, I'd like to see that too, because that would mean my character would be in a really successful comic book. But let's be honest, Nexus would beat the crap out of the Patriarch. But I would love it. I'm a big fan of Mike Baron. Big fan of Nexus. I love Nexus. I'm rereading Nexus in anticipation of the new Nexus comic. I cannot recommend Nexus. And then with Kelsey Shannon, I mean, I love Steve Rude, but Steve Rude and Mike Baron they're going separate ways. So, I look at it this way. Now we get two great Nexus comics. I love Nexus. Starvis took a beating by Zemo in the Met. Yeah, that was one of the truly shocking comic book moments. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the Masters of Evil broke into Avengers Mansion and beat the living hell out of poor old Jarvis. All Jarvis wants to do is make tea. All he wants to do is make tea, make sure that the Beast doesn't have lice. That's all he wants to do. And the Baron Zemo and those guys beat the crap out of him. Jarvis was the Red Centurion. That's the first I'm hearing about that. I didn't know anything about that. Do not know my Iron Man lore well enough. Okay. Well, I should break out some Iron Man. Silver Age Heroic Tales. It's funny that you said that, because I'm working on a story that's going to be set in the Golden Age, the 40s, with some Golden Age superheroes, and I have some 70s stories set up, and I have a 90s story, and I was really hoping, like for that 90s story, if I could ask Adam Smith to do the cover in like an Image 90s style extreme Rob Liefeld stuff. Which issue? What issue was Jarvis beat up by the Masters of Evil? I don't want to touch the screen now because my comic, but Marcus, Comicsgate historian powers activate. There you go. He was beat up at issue 273. Yeah. There you go. He was beat up at issue 273. So I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Wow, 50 people watching. I hate closing down when I got so many people watching. I think it was a 4-issue arc. Yeah, it was. There was a dark period of the Avengers around this time. What was it? Roger Stern writing them, and I think it was Sal Buscema drawing the art with Palmer inks. Am I correct? Am I correct in my? I can't remember what I did last week, but I think I can pull that kind of stuff out of my butt. But anyway, so while I got 52 people watching right now, what comic should I do for Sunday Comics next week? This was a tough one because I wanted to have something to do with fatherhood. This is a pathetic example of fatherhood. I could probably be the worst example of fatherhood, but the theme is there. That Trigon, like it or not, Trigon's a father. Raven is the daughter. So there you go. So anybody, I want to do my Nick Fury, the first appearance of Nick Fury, but I can't find it. I can't find it. It's got to be lost in this stack of comics right next to me, because that was an expensive comic. Nobody stole it. I just misplaced it. I hope I didn't file it in the wrong area, because I'll never find it again. In the 60s, Jarvis betrayed the... Oh, that's right. Jarvis was the Scarlet Centurion. I thought you saying Alfred was the Scarlet Centurion. Yes. Yes, I remember that issue. Wasn't he manipulated, like mind controlled? The Scarlet Centurion. Yeah, he wore that red hood. That's right. I got confused because I thought you meant Alfred was the Scarlet Centurion or the Red Centurion. Thanks. Okay, thank you, everybody. I think my wife is ready to go get some breakfast. I want to go get a big skillet with as many over easy eggs on top of ham and home fries as possible, because I'm not fat. I want to reclaim as much of the area of the earth as possible within my human form. You know, that's my way of taking over the earth. See you guys, and thanks a lot. And I will put up all the streams. I got a lot of stuff. I'm really excited. Thursday night at 7 p.m., Kelsey, Shannon, and I will do Two Beards, One Comic, and we will talk about Marvel's Secret Wars. I really love this and Two Beards, One Comic, my two favorite things that I do on this channel. Thanks a lot, everybody. And please, I'm begging you, I shouldn't beg, consider backing Heroic Tales. It's a labor of love by me. I obviously, you guys understand how much I love comics. Renzo, this guy gambled. He quit a real good job to draw comic books. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Just such. LRJ streaming here if everyone wants another stream. Who's LRJ? But yeah, go to another stream. Check it out. Check out comic books. It's about comics, everybody. It's about comics. So see ya. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. All right. Bye-bye.